Think world, think superpowers, think existence. There are nuclear weapons that can wipe out nations. There are terrorist groups that can blow up nations. There are powerful enemies that can enslave nations. There are heated wars and crossfires engulfing nations. Needless to say, world wars of yesterday resulted in the superpowers of today. Neighbors and territories have the power to break and strengthen a nation, and this is where the power play between India and China in the Southeast Asian context becomes relevant. China is desperately trying to retain its dominance in the region, and India is slowly emerging as a reliable alternative to China for the ASEAN countries. Let us understand how the power play between the two countries has unfolded. On the one hand, China, with its Belt and Road Initiative, wants to establish a continental and maritime Silk Route to connect China with other countries, and thus pushing an all roads lead to Beijing strategy. This is a significant power push by China, which is emerging as the sole challenger to the US dominance in international affairs. However, China is wary of its large neighbor to the west, India. It certainly finds it hard to accept a challenger within the Asian region. Therefore, the aggressive push to invest in South Asia and undercut India's preeminence in its own backyard. India is countering China's move by winning trust and forging strategic partnership with the ASEAN countries. With its Act East policy, PM Narendra Modi is successfully leading the coup against China. Do you remember the presence of all 10 leaders of ASEAN as chief guests on Republic Day in New Delhi? India has nearly $80 billion of business with ASEAN countries, and it's expected to increase it to $200 billion in the coming future. Act East policy has become India's gateway to Indo-Pacific region as well. Modi strongly pitched for a united ASEAN as central to peaceful cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region. Apart from forging deeper economic, strategic, military and cultural ties with his visits to all the ASEAN countries, Modi also emphasized India's readiness to support the formation of a rules-based order in the South China Sea, ensuring freedom of navigation in the Malacca Straits and Indian Ocean. While India has invested in continental security and infrastructure projects like the India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway, the Kaladan Multimodal Transit Project that is likely to extend to Laos and Cambodia, and more recently, with the announcement of developing an economic zone at Sabang, Indonesia, which is nestled in the Malacca Strait, one of the busiest shipping channels for global trade, making significant inroads in the region. While China has used a hardline approach to muscle the power in the region, Modi has used soft power approach of 3 C's: connectivity, culture and commerce. With this approach, Modi has earned investment and trust from the Indian diaspora in ASEAN and developed a strategic partnership with these countries that has made India a reliable alternative to China. Modi has personally invested in friendships with the individual country leaders, and that has been his trademark soft power push from the Indian perspective, as against a bulldozing Chinese approach. However, it is too early to draw conclusions about the successes of India's Act East policy. The impetus given by the energetic duo of Modi and Sushma Swaraj as the Minister of External Affairs may yield necessary results in the medium term. This is also because ASEAN is keen to have a reliable alternative to the USA or Japan. Indian Foreign Services has seen a significant overhaul of intent and result orientation under Modi's NDA and will hopefully sustain the efforts to cement India's position as a reliable partner for the ASEAN countries. The world is likely to be multipolar in future, and India poses no threat to other emerging powers. This unique proposition makes a decisive India more attractive. While time and tide wait for none, Partners who find sustained value in a relationship are likely to weather storms together and grow together.